Hi folks, this is Kareem Raouf from IT Visualizer channel. We will continue our lab, the Terminator Lab 2. This is the video number 2. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have discussed before in the previous video an introduction to the lab series. Okay, we are discussing in this YouTube video series the MCM or Microsoft Configuration Manager. This is a very important software. There is a lot of development and things going on with this software. Microsoft will retire or trying to retire this software by 2028, and it's moving it completely to the Intune cloud-based software. This is Intune. It is the cloud-based version of MCM. And during this phase, or until we reach 2028, we have a bridge between both worlds, which is MCM and Intune, something called co-management. So most IT can migrate safely from MCM to Intune. Okay, there is a lot of actually things that MCM is have advantage in and Intune doesn't. For example, bare metal deployment of software, bare metal deployment of operating systems, and still it is more secure, or in air-gapped environments it is the mostly used solution. Okay, but anyway, Microsoft is trying, as I said, to push it or to push the software to Intune. Okay, so today we will begin the instruction of the lab. We will see how we will instruct it. We have seen before that we have, or we will have 4 servers, basically DC1, DC2, CA1 and CM1. Both DC1 and DC2 are domain controllers. CA is the certificate server. CM is the configuration manager server. We will see how we will construct them step by step. The instructions to do that is actually in some notes, okay, that are attached in a OneDrive link for Mr. Daniel Barras, the one that have the that I have built my YouTube series on. So this is his notes concerning the construction of the CM lab. I will use his notes, and actually I will try to enhance them, because if you see, for example, these are 38 notes. Okay, most of them are in this format. So if you open, for example, this one that we will discuss today, we will see it is actually written in an organized way, but still the format is not that polished. Okay, as you can see here, these are the steps. It's clearly written, okay, but actually the format itself is not that good. So what I have done, I have already took all of his notes and asked Claude AI to rewrite them in a complete, or in a better format, and not skipping or summarizing anything, because this is one of the mistakes of the AI. If you give him something to rewrite, sometimes it summarize and cut some of the original content of the document. I told him to uh, rewrite these notes in a special format to be polished, and in the same time to keep everything as is, just to rewrite it in or organize it. Okay, and I have a special prompt for that. This is a very special prompt. I will show you the output. If someone needs the prompt for a small fee, he can call me and I will give him the prompt. If we see, for example, the prompt, or we will see you the actual uh, the one or the format that I have already uh, enhanced. This is, let me show you how this will work. Let me first try to just minimize it, or just take it side by side with the original content. Okay, so this is lesson 1, the same one, okay, or the same Perquisites one, but it is written in a certain format. Let me try to take it like this one. Okay, here you go, we can do like that. Okay, here you go, we can go like this. Okay, and I'll show you something here. Okay, let me first, I try to, just a moment, I will try to uh, just put it in a simple way. Okay, just a moment. This is the layout. Okay, but I need you to show you the per view mode. This is the edit phase. Okay, but let me show you the final one. Okay, just a moment. So let me go like this, and then we will try to take it side by side. Actually, this is a markdown file. I have already the same one, but as a PDF. Okay, so if you need this or this, so as we can see here, for example, if we go like this, and let me get like that. Okay, but we need to minimize it or make it like this. Okay, so now we can see, or let me get it like this, or let push it. I need to push it, just a moment. So we can get like this one. Okay, anyway, we can maximize it like this, and then we can go further. Okay, let me try to, okay, just a moment. Okay, so we can do like this, for example, maybe. Okay, and we can do like this. So let me do like this, tell him to cascade side by side. So okay, now we can see this one here. This is the original document, and here we can see the uh, uh, enhanced one. We can see, for example, there is no table of content. Here we have overview, we have prerequisites, and then we have sections, initialize system configuration. All of this is not done in the original document. Okay, most of it are as you can see, these are steps or row steps without any uh, title or without anything. So as we can see here, we have 26 section, and we have, for example, here an overview. This is lab environment workstation. We can see all of this is not in the original document, and we can see, for example, reference. We have estimated time, and this steps, and then we can see the prerequisites. It will give you, for example, something like a summary for what we need. We need to have a storage, at least 1 TB of available storage on fastest drive, access internet, software, OS, and then it begins the initial configuration, which is from this step. We can see, for example, here open file explorer from taskbar, and then options, then view tab, uncheck hide extensions for known files. This will be the first step. As you can see here, this is done in an organized way. Open file explorer, then click on more options, then select options, then configure view setting, navigate to view tab, uncheck hide. So we can see here the format is really done in a very good way, and we can see there is some tips here also said. For example, to configure software to show extensions for better visibility of the types. This is one of the recommendations of the lab. You need to see all of the extensions of the file, so you not get confused, because some of the files, zipped files and unzipped files, have the same name. So you need to make sure which file you are deleting. If, for example, you need to delete a file which is zipped and it have the same name as an unzipped file, so you will get confused. Okay, Someone will tell me, okay, you can see it for the icon, but sometimes maybe you can forget something like that, and you see the name and you delete it by accident. And actually, this is also better for some virus situations when someone is sending you a file and it appears to be like a text file or something, but the extension itself, or appears from the icon that it is a text file, but actually it is not. He is giving you, or is sending you, an exe file which appears on an icon of a text file. So you need to have this option available or open so you can see the file extension regardless of the icon itself. So we can see here, this is the uh, enhanced option for this. So we can see very better, or this is very good. So let me close this one, or side cascade. Let me close, this is the one, okay, and then this is the one. So how we will get these files, okay, so how these notes we can get it, okay. Actually, Daniel is giving an OneDrive link. You can see when we see our video. You will go and get all of these files, and actually I will leave the link for Daniel original text files in the description of this video, and my enhanced uh, text in another link, okay. So these are the steps one by one, and today we will discuss the prerequisites, okay. There is for example here an like a presentation. I like to give, or something like an infographic, and to give a presentation of each file that we will discuss today. So the prerequisite, this is the infographic for this uh, text file. So what I have done, actually I'm using NoteBookLM to do this graphics, okay. So here, this is the file, and actually I have already made as we can see here, this is an interactive, or this is a notebook that is interactive. I give you all the link, or publish this in my Telegram channel. For this, you can interact with all of my videos in this series and all of the documents that I used as sources. So what I have done, I have already put the text file and asked it to create an infographic and a slide deck note, or a slide deck presentation, okay. So this is how you can get this, something like this one, and I will show you the presentation in a moment. But actually, this is the basic output. If you need to have an enhanced output, I will show you something more enhanced and more impressive, but this needs a special prompt. If you need a special prompt and you need to have gorgeous infographics and presentations, I will give you the prompt. Just contact me and we'll give you the prompt for a small fee. Anyway, so I have already shared this notebook with you guys if you need to interact with the videos one by one. So this is, for example, the introduction video that I have done in the previous video. You can go there in this notebook and ask it to summarize the video, summarize the resources I used to make this video, make reports, makes video overview, audio overview. So all of this is available, okay. So let's see here, for example, what this says. So Daniel has already his if you see his notes, and actually he is not giving notes as well, he is giving some folders. He is preparing to make the lab, and he has already categorized what he needs. He will, for example, download the operating system ISOs, which he will use to deploy in a special folder called operating systems, and there is subfolders for Windows 10, for example 22H2, and we have, for example, another folder for applications that will also deploy in using MCM. And actually each under it there is, for example, a folder for Chrome, and we have also a folder for drivers. This will include HP drivers, because he has already his laptop HP, and we will have inside these drivers WinPE drivers and HP drivers. We will see that later in the videos, and actually we'll have subfolders under each folder. For example, maybe Chrome, we have another folder with the product name or the version, for example. So this is categorizing your folders. You need to make a categorized, or you need to name your folders according to a certain criteria. You need to name it according to the function, okay, or name it according to the version, or naming according to the name of the product. We will see in another presentation how we can organize our folders. Here we are not discussing what Daniel has done. We are trying to take uh, a lesson from that. He is very, very organized, and this appears actually from all of his work. If you are in an environment, organization environment, or a large organization, you need to categorize your data and your folders in a way that will make it easy to find what you need. Okay, so for example, disorganized folders lead to confusion about versions and content. A well-organized structure provide clarity, easy version tracking, and descriptive names. So we can see we will see the folders and how they are organized. And then in our lab today, Daniel will create these folders. Okay, so he has already, not in the link contains the notes, but uh, in his notes he has some scripts to create the folders that we are talking about. So he is not giving ready-made folders for you. He will give you a script that will create these folders. So we will see a PowerShell script. You need to define the driver that will contain these folders, and then he will make a folder called cmlab, and under it will create a lot of folders. Okay, we will see this script in a moment. And here we can see that most of his work should be done, the PowerShell script, to be run as administrator. Okay, and we say, why we run administrator? We need to run PowerShell as an administrator because it does a lot of changes in the operating system. So this should be done with the highest privileges. Okay, so we will say why we run it as an administrator. And then one note or one advice is to make track of all of your software and operating system in an Excel sheet. This will be very, very good advice, to have an inventory of the software that you will deploy in your in your environment, and the ISOs or the operating system that you will deploy. You need to make an Excel sheet. And actually I will show you all a way to make this using script. So we will have all of our sources downloaded, and then we load a small script to create an Excel sheet or an inventory Excel sheet for these downloaded files. Okay, deleting archives after extraction. This is another thing to save space. After downloading most of our sources, some of them are zipped or compressed. We can unzip them or uncompress them and then delete the compressed file. Okay, and then other things, for example, here one of also of the things that we will use something called copy as pass. Daniel will do some things in his script. He needs to copy some passes for some folders and give it to the PowerShell script. So you will not do this by manually typing the pass which you need, for example, as a certain folder to be copied to. You have something called shift right click on the file. It will give you the pass. You can copy the pass by right clicking, shift plus right click on a file, and it will give you the pass of the file. We will do this and we will show you how we can do this. And show extension files, I have already discussed this before with you. And then we have something called the address bar. The address bar, this is simple. If you go to the address bar, this is called the address bar. In this address bar you can do a lot of things. You can type the location you need and press enter to go to it, or you also can type, for example, PowerShell like this, PowerShell.exe, and then if you press enter you will open a PowerShell session inside this folder. So you have a lot, this is like tips and tricks. You have a lot of things we can learn from this lab, not only MCM but some tips and tricks for the Windows operating system. So we have seen this and we have some shortcuts. Win key plus E will open the file explorer. Win plus X will get you this menu, which is called like also shortcuts for some locations in the Windows or some options in the Windows. For example, this is PowerShell, admin, computer management, disk management. This is when you type Win plus X. And you have control plus shift plus exec. This will open the task manager. Also, this will open the task manager. So you have a lot of things we can use during the lab. These are all shortcuts. Okay, so he uses it in his lab. This is like a practice. We are not only working with MCM, but this is actually we need to make the work easier for us, not to make a lot of clicks. We need to make it in less steps. And I will show you all that even Daniel is making a great job trying to organize everything and make it less complicated and with less steps, but actually there is a lot of things he have said can can be automated. We will see that. And actually I took all of the steps that are repeated and which are more than it's repeated heavily, and I use scripts to automate them. I will show you all. What I will do, I will discuss Daniel's steps, and then I will do my steps in the upcoming video. I will show you how I can automate some of his steps, and actually also we will ask the AI tools to see Daniel's content and give us advice. So we will have different views. Okay, again we will see some of the files that we will use in this lab. We will have .msi files, Windows install packages with standard options, exe executable programs, ISO disk image, a virtual copy of a DVD. This is for the operating system. .zip compressed archive. .msu Windows update. This is very important. These are some Windows update that we will inject in the ISO file or the operating system ISO file. So when we install the operating system, it will include the latest Windows updates with it. Typically, when you install Windows from an ISO image, it is not updated to the latest Windows version. You need to install it and then get to the internet to get the latest updates. We will cut this process and we'll inject all of the latest updates in the ISO image, so the Windows will be installed with the latest updates. Okay, so this is done simply, as we can see, by going to NoteBookLM and choose the lesson or choose the text file, ask it to create an infographic. So this is basically and very simple. Let's go to the presentation, okay, for this one, which will give us a better info. So for example, here is the slide deck, or this is the presentation. Again, how to get this one, we will go to NoteBookLM and we will tell him to add sources, okay, and then choose the file, okay, the prerequisites, and then we will go and tell him slide deck. Okay, this is very basic. There is no special prompts to do anything, just as I told you. Okay, and this will give you uh, a good output, but not the optimal. Okay, so we can see here, for example, this is a diagram. We can see, for example, the folders are creating through PowerShell. We will see this is the structure. We have the infrastructure, domain controllers, and a lot of things. Some steps need to be done for installing the MCM and conductivity through switches or so. A typical diagram. Okay, and then let's see what is discussed here. Okay, enterprise system rely work alone. Tools like Microsoft don't just exist, they orchestrate a suite of components to function. Actually, you will not install only configuration manager. For a configuration manager to work, you need to have a lot of things installed before installing the configuration manager. You need to have a SQL server, need to have an Active Directory infrastructure, need to have clients so we can add them to the configuration manager, need to have operating systems ISO images so we can inject it to the configuration manager to deploy it. So we have a lot of things we need, and we will also see Daniel is making a great job to give us what we need exactly. We will not leave everything or not leave anything to luck. Okay, actually I don't believe in luck anyway, so we will do everything. Okay, here for example, he will give us an automation. We will see in his text file an automate script to create a lot of folders, not manually creating one by one. Okay, we will see, for example, his script. This is the first line of the script, the driver lab, or where we will put the folders, and then the another line in the script, the subfolder that will be created, and then the third line we will begin listing subfolders to be created under the CM lab. As we can see here, this is a lot of info. The first one, a container to store information that we will use. This is called the variable. When you see something like a dollar sign with something written, this is called a variable, a container that store information that we will use. And we will see commandlet, okay, this is called uh, commandlet, the action you want PowerShell to perform, okay, this is the one. And then we will see the command and some parameters, an option that modifies how the command runs, this is the 2. And the last one, prevents errors if the folder already exists, a pro level habit, okay. So we will see, for example, if you have a certain folder not created, this option will recreate it, okay. We will see that in a moment, so don't bother yourself. So this a little bit of explanation of the script. We will see this is the rest of the script. We will tell him we need some folders to be created in CMLab, okay. These are the folders: sources, applications, drivers, operating system. And this line, or the rest of the lines, we will create these folders under CMLab. So all of these are in CMLab, and we have the folder name, which will be sources, applications, drivers, so on. So okay, so this is the rest of the script. We will see a diagram, okay. This is the names, and then he will take the names for each one of them and create a folder with the name of or we have listed here, okay. So now, another thing, a well-organized workshop is an efficient. So as we see also that organization is a good thing. We don't need to have all of these things, or all of the folders are in not a good order. This is the good order. We need to create a folder, and then the name of the folder, name of the application, for example, the version, because maybe you have multiple versions. If you need to upgrade to a certain version, so you need to have a folder with the version name. So this is how you can organize yourself in a clear, predictable, easy to automate and maintain, okay. This is ambitious, error prone, impossible to audit, okay. So let's continue. Now this is the principles of enterprise file organization. Principal function or group by function. Keep like with like. All drivers go in one place, all applications in other. This makes resources predictable and easy to locate. Very, very simple. Principle, include version information. So for example, Windows 10, then you make another folder for the version, which is 22H2, not just Windows 10, because there is a lot of versions for Windows 10. You will always manage multiple versions. This practice saves you from future confusion and errors. Very, very good. Principle 3, be consistent. Always use the same naming, this style, always use the same style, not changing your style every now and then. For example, you have the product name, then the versions. This is Windows 10, the product name, then the version. Consistency is the key to scalable automation and allows others to understand your work. So this is the 3 principles. Then, your software inventory, a dashboard for your security and sanity. You cannot secure what you don't know you have. Tracking software versions is essential for security patching, upgrade planning, and troubleshooting compatibility issues. A simple spreadsheet is a powerful first step. So this is an example of a software inventory sheet. If you need, use it for future upgrade, for example, of Chrome, security patching for a certain version of Chrome, SQL Server. Okay, so all of these, you have the software column, current version, install path, last updated. I can show you all, I think, a script to do that also automatically. Again, we have a lot of files that will be used in this lab. We have seen this in the infographic. Okay, and this is the shortcuts. Maybe here it is a little bit more clear than the infographic. And we will see here, stop manually typing log file passes and inviting typo. This simple trick copies the full quoted path directly to your clipboard, ready to be pasted into scripts and command prompts. This is basically what we need to do. If we need to make a script to, for example, create a certain file in a certain folder, then, or to copy a certain file to a certain folder, then we can do this by the path, okay, as we can see here. Shift right click. This is more organized and clearly or more clear than the infographic. Then we will see some of the tips and tricks. Show file extensions. A file named virus.txt.exe looks like virus.txt when extensions are hidden. This is a critical security setting. We will see how we can do that in the view section. The command address bar is your command line. Click in the File Explorer address bar, type cmd or PowerShell, as I have shown you all how to do that. To instantly open a terminal in your current directory, we have seen that. And always elevate run as an administrator. Getting access denied, you need administrative privileges. The best practice is to launch your terminal as an admin from the start. Okay, so actually when you are running a script, you need to right click the PowerShell and tell him to run as administrator. Okay, this is so you can make sure that access denied is not done. Okay, so let's continue with the thing here. This is how you can run as an administrator. PowerShell script would run. You double click the script and nothing happens, or you just get a security error. You need to tell or type a command in the PowerShell session to set execution policy to remote signed. So by default, scripts or PowerShell scripts are not run in Windows. We need to tell the Windows to run the scripts manually. And actually, this option, remote sign, to run scripts that are signed from a known location or a known organization. You can tell him to run any script, okay, and this can be for a certain temporary time, and then you can again block running PowerShell script after executing your script. Okay, so this is also another thing we will see in the lab. Most PowerShell scripts need to have this line included. Okay, pass not found. It almost always typo, double check your spelling. If some errors maybe if in a script that pass not found, you need to make sure that you have typed the correct pass. We have seen how we can take the pass by right click and shift plus right click to get the correct pass. Can't see.exe or mse, you don't have the file extensions appear. You can see the file name, but you cannot see the extension. We will see how we can tell or ask Windows to unhide file extensions. Okay, so now we have this is complete. The learning begins. Now tackle these changes. Use principles. This is like a summary, okay, for what we will do, and then this summary ends or the presentation ends. So as you can see here, this is more clear and more organized presentation than the infographic, and these are the simple output that NoteBookLM can give you. But there is an advanced or more better output. For example, let's see this infographic. So as you can see here, this is much better than the previous infographic. We can see here this is done in the universe of Tron. As you can see here, he is already making all of his data explained through this universe. As we can see here, for example, the first phase is foundation and preparation. We need to have a high-speed driver with at least 1 terabyte of free space, and we need to have administrator access, full admin rights needed for all installation and configuration. This is phase 1. Phase 2, core deployment suite. We need to have some software available to download. Download Microsoft MCM version 243. We will upgrade later. Microsoft Deployment Toolkit 8456. Okay, and to have the batch or security batch or hotfix included or downloaded as well. And we will have Windows ADK. All of these are software needed for MCM to work. Okay, and we'll have a lot of things actually, not only these. Okay, and we can see here that before downloading these, we need to have our folders created, so these sources will be included in it or it will be copied to it. Okay, and then we have phase 3, which we have download ISO images or operating system ISO images, Windows 10 22H2 and Windows 11 24H2. I think there is recent versions than those which is already available today. We have Windows Server 2025, and you have all of this also downloaded. Okay, and then the last phase, which is back-end infrastructure, we need to have SQL, okay, installed under MCM or before MCM is installed, and we will have also drivers and updates also injected. So we will have MCM it to be attached to a SQL Server database to record all of its data in it, and we need to inject or download drivers and OS updates to inject them to MCM to deploy it to clients. And all of this will done using Hypervisor VM Workstation Pro 17.5. As we can see here, this is much better and very astonishing, or there is a lot of astonishing graphics. Okay, this is much better and very impressive. Okay, This is done using a special prompt. So if you need to have something like this, actually we'll go to the infographics. So we will choose the file you need to have infographics to, and then we will go to the describe section and put our prompt here, which give us the output I have showed you all. Okay, if someone needs something like that, contact me. I will give you the prompt for a small fee. Okay, so now this is the infographic. What about the presentation? So here is another thing. Here is the presentation actually also done in the universe of Tron. Okay, we will see here also something different. The same, we have to have storage at least 1 TB available space, full administrator rights, high network speed, utilities like 7-zip or something for extraction, Windows 11 or Windows 10 updates. And then we can see we will have our folders created in the F partition. We have CM Lab and virtual machines. We'll have two folders created. We need to show file extensions. We need in the browser edge to activate option ask me what to do with each download, so we can redirect the downloaded files to the folders we need. Okay, so this is the as we can see here, the presentation is very good, and actually much better than the previous presentation. Okay, this is the data. The PowerShell will automate the creation of all 27 required directories, forming the skeleton of our lab. Okay, so we can see here we have MCM. This is the version that we need to download, and then it is compressed. We will unzip it and put it in the folder called Microsoft Configuration Manager under CM Lab. Okay, and this is MDT that will be integrated to MCM. Also, this is the current version we need to download. This is the .msi file, and we need to also include the hotfix. Okay, so this is phase one, laying the great foundation, activating the core systems. Number two, initializing the data archive. Okay, so we need to set up a SQL database to be attached to the MCM. Okay, this is the version of the SQL. We have 22H2. We have Management Studio to manage the SQL database, some reporting SQL services or reporting server or reporting SQL server reports, cumulative updates. All of these things are included with the SQL database for some updates for the security and some for the efficiency. Okay, and here is a little bit of a tip. Our MCM server will have 16 GB of RAM allocated to it. We will give the operating system, Windows Server 2025, 4 GB of RAM, and the rest will be given to the SQL database. Okay, so this is thing, and this is actually done by a small calculation. Okay, which is very accurate, and it changes according to the RAMs that you allocated to the MCM. So I will show you all something also like a small calculation that will help you allocate your RAM according to a certain criteria. Okay, so now we can see here we have all of the operating systems included. You will have 22H2, Windows 10, x86 64-bit. This is the name of the file, and this is Windows 11, and we have Windows Server. Okay, and these are all the names of the files or the operating system, and then we will include some updates for this operating system and inject them to the ISO images. Okay, and we can see this is the ADK we will use also with the MCM to do a lot of things. We will see later what ADK does exactly. And this is the drivers. We need to download the drivers to inject them to the MCM, so it will, after when deploying operating system, it will inject the drivers during the installation of the Windows. Okay, so also one of the things, we will install some remote tools and administrative tools to control our lab environment, remote server administrative tools, and we will have some group policies that will secure our lab environments. Actually, Daniel is not only giving you the steps to do the lab, but to secure your lab. If you are in a multinational organization or a large organization, you need to make sure your security is is standard security templates. Okay, so we will see this also how we can do that. We will download the latest recommendations concerning securing our environment from the DISA or DoD or Department of Defense of the United States. They have very, very good uh, best practices for every operating system and every software. Okay, so also another things we will use Big Info. This is like a software that when you run it, it will put the specs of your operating system in the background. This is good if you need to see from one look uh, in the in the PC. You need to know all of the info from one look on the background. So this will be good if you install it on our servers. Okay, so we will install it, and we will have PowerShell 7 for advanced scripting and automate engine. Winget, this is a tool that we can use to automate download and installation of software. Windows Admin Center, something like remote server tools, also used to handle or to configure or to control servers. Okay, so now we have the core one, the one that we will build our lab on. The hypervisor we will use is VM Workstation Pro 17.6.3. Actually, there is advanced version used today, which is 25H2. We will use it, but when recording this video, the latest one was 17.6.3. Okay, and this is some configuration setting we will do when installing Windows or install or VM Workstation Pro. For example, disable customer experience program. The default location for VMs will be in a certain folder that we have created earlier. Enable shared folders. This will enable a shared folder between the VMs or the guest and the host. And we will in download VMware tools that basically is like a software that can help the VM Workstation Pro software to control the VM. This should be the latest version, so we don't have any problems actually. All a full system restart is required to finalize the virtualization layer integration. At the end, we will see this is like a small structure. We have VMware Workstation Pro. On it, we will build the MCM and other things. And MCM, we will have admin toolkit to manage it. We will have some softwares injected. We will have our SQL database, and we have operating systems ISO images included, and we have SQL Server. All of this is run under VM Workstation Pro hypervisor environment. And this is, for example, at the end, some summary for what we have discussed. And at the end, we can see that this presentation is much, much, much better than the one that we have discussed before. So this is our lab. We have discussed a lot of things, or this is the things that we will discuss today in this one, or the prerequisites or the notes, how we will do the lab. Let me open, first of all, let me open the notes. So we will close this one, and then we will open our note. Just we will close this one, and then we will open our enhanced note. Okay, let me close also this one. Let's see how much time we have. Okay, we have some time. So here you go. We'll open this one, and then so now let me get you the preview section. So we can see in it a little bit of an organized way. I can open the PDF file, but I prefer MD because it's much better, okay, from my point of view. Okay, so let's see for a moment. So now we will close this one, and now let's wait for a couple of minutes. So this is our infrastructure. Okay, here is the beginning of the documentation. Okay, and you can see here very organized. So the first thing we need to open the File Explorer display options. We will see the video and how this is done step by step. So here is the recorded video, and here you go. We will open this one. So let's begin the series. Okay, here we go. Now we will open Daniel's lab series. Okay, go to his channel and open this playlist, and then you open the notes link here. Then we can see here these are the notes. And now we can open the prerequisites. Okay, I have already got his videos and get the transcript of his videos, not only the notes. Okay, so here we can see this is the document. Now the first thing is to open File Explorer and check uncheck hide extensions for known file types. Because this is unchecked. Okay, then the next thing is to create the folders we need. Okay, we will this done through PowerShell script, or you can open the terminal. Okay, so I'm using Windows 11 as my host operating system. Sorry for there is a lot of things on my desktop. So I just here we will need to put I need to put the folders in the D drive, so I'll change it from F to D. Okay, you're going to need to put it in my D drive. Okay, this is the one, and here we can see this partition. I'm just confirming with you guys that this is SSD drive. Okay, and actually best practice is not to include your operating system partition and the partition that the VMs will reside in. Both partitions should not be on the same drive. Okay, so you need to have one SSD drive and allocate it to your operating system partition, and another drive or a SSD drive to put the virtual machines on, so you have the better performance. Okay, actually I have some issues with the performance, but actually not that bad. Actually my lab was working fine even though I have both partitions on the same SSD drive. Okay. So you see hardware, this is, we can see this is SSD, and they have a couple of hard disks that are normal hard disks or SAS hard disks. Okay, so now we'll copy, we will create CMLab folder, and under it we have or sorry, CMLab folder in D, and then in the same partition we will create uh, a couple of folders, one virtual machines. We will see the output now, so we'll go to the D partition, and we will see that we have now we have virtual machines folder and we have CMLab folder. And under CMLab folder we will have 7-zip and notepad. Okay, so now we have everything working. We will continue creating the various uh, folders or the rest of the folders. Now we will go to Edge, and then we need to make sure that every download, we need to specify the location of the download. By default it is in C users Windows, okay, but I need to do ask where to save each file before downloading. Okay, so we have this already done. Now we need to take the rest of the script and put it in the terminal. Okay, so this is the folders that we need to create. Okay, this is the script. We will take it from this. Okay, and then we will copy. Okay, and then we will put the rest of the script. So now if we go and check the folders, we will see that they are already created. We will open the CMLab. We have a lot of folders created now. Okay, so this is one step. And then the next thing is to download big info configuration file. So this is not the big info software itself, this is a configuration file. This configuration file contains what should be displayed from the system information in the background. Okay, this is the configuration file. Okay, this is already uploaded on Daniel Barras private uh, private cloud drive. Okay, so we will go and put it in the location. Okay, so here you go, we can save it. Okay, and put it in the location that was set in the note, which is lab area, which is in the CM lab. If we go to CM lab and then we have go to big info. Okay, and then we will tell him to put it there. Okay, okay, now we can save it. We need to extract it actually, but I forgot this step. We need to extract it and then delete the zip folder or delete the compressed folder. Okay, actually this is not here very clear from the instructions. Actually there is a little bit of a confusion for me, but actually I have already figured it out later. Okay, so actually most of the downloads go to this folder, which is C downloads, okay, or C users downloads. So this is why we have already make Edge to let us choose the location to put the files that we have already downloaded. Okay, so anyway, now we will go and continue with the instructions. Now we need to download the big info software itself. Okay, so this is the configuration file. Don't get confused, this is the configuration file. This one is the software itself. Okay, so I got a little bit confused here. This is the configuration file and this is the file, or this is the software itself. Okay, so we will go and download big info. Here I got confused somehow because this is not clear. Here from these steps, if you go, or let me show you, here he's telling that after downloading this file, you will double click on it, okay, and choose or take all of the content and paste it outside and then delete the zip folder. So this is like extracting. This is very simple. Just right click big info and tell him to extract and get all of the content and put it outside in the root of your partition, not in the folder that the content is zipped or it is unzipped to it. Let me show you how this is done. Actually, what he has done simply, he already got big info. For example, let's consider a zip file. What you have done, you have already just opened the zip file. If you go, for example, any zip file, this is, for example, he got big info. This is, for example, a file. Okay, what he have done, this is big info.zip file. He will double click on it and then he will take the content, okay, he will get control A, okay, like this one, control A, and then control X, okay, or something. For example, let's get like control X, okay, and then go outside and paste it in a certain location, and then delete the zip file. So this is exactly what you have done. We will paste it outside and then delete the file itself. Okay, so this is what he is saying in his instructions. Okay, simply uh, this, if you don't have a software for zipping and unzipping folders, if you don't have any software, actually you can download 7-zip for doing that. Simply, you don't need to do that. Very simple. You can go to the file itself and then right click on it and tell him to unzip. Okay, right click, okay, and then tell him to unzip it or put it in Muhammad files, for example, and then go and copy and paste. Okay, this is simple. Okay, so let's continue and see. This is the big info software, not the configuration file. So we'll copy it and paste. So download big info. They will put it in the same folder, so we can see there is two files, big info, but this is big info, the configuration file, and this is the software itself. So this is here I got confused. We have two zip folders with the same name, or zip files with the same name. Which one is which? Okay, so I realized later that the first file is the configuration and the second file is the software itself. Okay, so we will see later. Okay, we will open and see how this is done, or let me show you how this will be done. So we need to unzip the first folder first, or the first file, or first zip file, and then delete it, and then download the second file. So we'll go and do that in a moment. So we'll go there. Before doing this, we will cancel or right click and okay, and tell him to unzip it. Okay, extract files here. Okay, we will do that, and then here is the files, and then we will delete this file. Okay, shift delete this file. Okay, we will delete this file. Okay, and then we will save this file. Okay, the second file, we will save the second file, which we need to do. Okay, we'll save the second file. Okay, and then we will save the second file and then unzip it, and then there a little bit of a copy process will be done. Let me show you, or let me first save the file. Okay, so we now save the second file. Okay, already exists. Okay, oh, tell him yes. Okay, I have already deleted it. Okay, save. Okay, and tell him save. Okay, now we will go and unzip it. Okay, so here, as we can see here, if you can see here, for example, there is a lot of files. Okay, for example, biginfo.bgi, these are, or all of these folders are custom background, a lot of things actually concerning the configuration of the big info. This is the big info itself, not the configuration file. Anyway, we will unzip it, and then we will take all of these configuration files and put them in these two folders. Let me show you all, or let me wait, you will wait and see. So we'll open. As you can see here, these are the files that will be copied, okay, from this zipped folder to these two folders, okay. Okay, so now I have already unzipped them and then delete the file, okay, delete the file, and then this script will copy these two files to okay, we'll have the terminal. Now we take all of these, okay, but this is not the F file, this is the D. I have already in the D. So this is basically copying the executable file for the big info, okay, from the root folder to certain folders. Let me show you, or let's wait and see when we do the script, okay. We will tell exit. If you go to the folder, what we will see the two files are deleted, okay, no big info 64-bit, okay, here you go, this is the one, and this is the 86-bit, okay, and then we can delete this one safely, okay, without anything, and then we will stop at minute 12:50 because I think the video has already gone with 1 hour. So this is the first part of the Perquisites lab video. We will continue in the upcoming video with God will. Hope this video is informative to you all, and thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.